Welcome back to the lineup. A new policy instituted in the Indiana Department of Corrections is raising eyebrows, that's right, on both sides of the First Amendment rights issue. Joining me now to discuss that policy is the man who created it, Commissioner of the Indiana Department of Corrections, J. David Donahue. Commissioner, thanks for being with me tonight. What's up with this new policy?
My pleasure. Well, Kimberly, consistent with our efforts to promote public safety in Indiana, we're trying to create an environment where offenders can focus on opportunity to change behavior and ultimately prepare them to return to our communities. Having pornography in our system is not consistent with that goal.
Yeah, how is that going to make the prisoners better off? I mean, no offense, buddies that are in jail, they don't deserve to have all these magazines and nudity pictures. I don't see how that's rehabilitating them at all.
Well, I'd rather see them invest their time on things that can promote positive opportunity. And so again, the investment of the time is important. But you know, there's two issues as well. It's our employees in our system deserve to have a space to work in that's very healthy, and I don't think any employer in the United States today would promote the idea of having pornography in the workplace. So it's really about creating an environment where it's really the benefit to the employees as well as the offenders.
Right. I mean, they're in jail for a reason. This is not supposed to be like a trip to Disneyland and, you know, pornography and whatever else they want. I mean, that's considered contraband. Now, but we're not just talking about pornography like magazines like you would think Playboy or Hustler or something like that. What about, say, for example, like a National Geographic that has nudity, or perhaps even a medical book or research thing that's, you know, pictures of the human body depicted for scientific or learning purposes?
Well, and actually our policy allows for that particular type of publication. We encourage, again, the opportunity for offenders to take advantage of educational activities, and so those types of publications are actually allowed by our policy. What we are excluding are those things that would be viewed as actually pornographic material by definition.
All right, and pornography isn't the only right that prisoners potentially have on the chopping block in Indiana. Tell us what else is ripe for the chopping.
Well, you know, our mission here in this state is similar to other missions around the country, but Governor Daniels has promoted in our jurisdiction to enhance public safety. This year alone, over 16,000 prisoners are coming out of our system, so reentry is really about the focus of how to promote public safety. We want to reduce recidivism in our state.
That's right.
And in order to do that, we have to create an environment where folks that have used poor judgment and have actually ended up in prison, we have to remember they're in prison as punishment, not for punishment. So we want to create the environment where those folks can learn the skills necessary to gain employment, to gain a suitable housing, and ultimately return to their communities to be productive citizens.
That's the idea. I think, Commissioner, you're doing a fine job. Keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Well, some do argue that prisoners are entitled to their First Amendment rights and should not be restricted from exercising those rights, and I guess including looking at these kind of magazines. Joining me now in Orlando is First Amendment rights attorney Marc Randazza. Marc, thanks for being with me tonight. I really want to talk about this.
My pleasure.
Okay, the purpose of prison, we know, is it's punishment, rehabilitation, but what gives them the right to have pornography?
Well, look, we got to be really careful here. I mean, I know I'm defending unpopular people, unpopular speech, but that's the test of the strength of a philosophy, if it can actually defend the unpopular. And when it comes to the First Amendment, we don't make exceptions for these kind of things. All right, the First Amendment protects their right to have pornography. And if there's a legitimate prison-based reason to exclude it, then, you know, prisoners have the lowest form of First Amendment protection. This doesn't even meet that. You know, he's saying that this only prohibits real pornography. No, this says any clothed pictures, if you can see a visual definition in it, photos, paintings, drawings, sculptures, even just writing as a threat to security and good order, that's just not being honest. What this is about, I mean, this would ban Maxim, this would ban FHM.
I wouldn't call those educational, really, though.
Well, it's not about education, okay? It's about you have the right in this country to read what you want to read. And if you're going to make a decision that we're going to restrict somebody's right to do that, we've got to be careful about it, measured about it, make it a narrow rule. We've got to make it for a legitimate reason, and this just isn't rising to that level.
All right, Marc, what about the sex offenders that are in jail, child molesters, rapists, those type of people, homicidal maniacs that have created terrible lives for people? Should they have a right to have this kind of material? I don't think it's a good idea.
Look, that's what the First Amendment's about. Now, if you're talking about a sex offender, if their psychologist says that it would be counter to their rehabilitation for them to have this material, I don't have a problem with that. What I have a problem with is you have mission creep when you have people trying to restrict First Amendment rights. This is about an agenda to restrict the right to this material to people because he doesn't like this material. Okay, some of those comments he was making about public safety, he'd rather see them in a healthy environment, he'd rather see them in a learning environment. Look, this is going to prohibit Maxim. Since when is Maxim a threat to public order? Lots of healthy guys read that.
Well,
right? The swimsuit issue for Sports Illustrated.
All right.
This is not what it's about.
Okay.
All right, and the
Next
point,
it's going to be in the workplace, I guess. It's Maxim's hardly Encyclopedia Britannica, Mark, but thanks for joining me tonight. We got to go. All right.